Hello guys, this is Amsterdam Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to max out your stats immediately after leaving Vault 111. Now this video might not be for you. If this is your first time playing Fallout 4, then I would recommend you doing the story without this trick. For everyone else, let's get to it. When you get out of Vault 111, you need to head down the hill and get yourself to Sanctuary. We're going to head back to our old neighborhood where we will perform a few steps in order to increase our stats to 10. In order to successfully do this, we need to find a few items. Fortunately for us, we can find everything in and around Sanctuary. Let's begin with step 1. The first thing we need to get is a weapon. If you're going to do this trick further down in the game, you should already have one. If this is a new playthrough, I would suggest you grab the 10mm pistol that you find in the Overseer's office back in Vault 111. This step isn't too difficult, so let's move to step number 2. We're going to loot some of the houses in Sanctuary as we need material to upgrade our weapon. Let's start by this house. Now scrap all the loot that contain more than just wood and steel. Think about loot like oil cans, tape, lamps, and all sorts of loot that have materials like gear, oil, adhesive, and steel. Also, don't forget to loot all the chem boxes and first aid kits. Sanctuary also holds some safes, so you might want to get them too. Once you think you have enough items to make a modification to your weapon, and it doesn't really matter what you modify, you need to get back to your workshop and store all the items in it. Now let's quickly check if we indeed have enough materials to modify our weapon. To do this, we need to get to the weapons workbench and select the weapon that we're going to use for this trick. Now randomly select some mods until you find one that you could apply to the weapon. If you found one, then you can continue with the video. If not, search a bit more until you have everything you need. Quick tip, you can highlight the material that you're still missing. You do this with the corresponding button depending on the platform you play Fallout 4 on. Now while it's not necessary, please like the video if this video helps you out. It really does make a difference to our channel and it makes sure other people see this trick as well. Now let's continue to the next step. Step 3, getting your special book. We're going back to our house and go to Sean's room. Now if you look close, you will find the book under his crib. Once you pick up the book, you need to pick a stat that you want to increase by 1. Now I already maxed out our intelligence and charisma, so these aren't options for me to choose from. For now, it doesn't matter which one you pick, so just pick one. If you didn't do so yet, you can loot the whole house and then make your way back to the workshop. Let's move to step 4. So step 4, change the object. Now this is where it gets a bit more complicated. Please do exactly the same thing as I'm going to show you and use the same corresponding buttons. Let's start by getting rid of all our items except of our selected weapon and your special book. Now you can store all the loot at the workshop, and if this doesn't work for you, you could quickly craft a crate and store all other items there. In case you're further down into the game, you could also have some quest items. Now you cannot get them out of your inventory, but this shouldn't be a problem. Now once you did this, you need to get to the weapons workbench. If you approach it, you can select the craft option. By doing so, you open the weapons menu and you will see the weapon that you're holding. Now we start by changing the name of the weapon. You can do this by pressing the corresponding button. Depending on the game language, you want to change the name of the weapon to the first letter of your special book. In our case, this is the letter Y. Important that you use a lowercase letter. The reason why we want to do this is because we're going to do a little trick that will delete the weapon but also keep it in your inventory. As we delete the weapon, it will then look for an item that you're holding that somehow matches the just deleted item. As we named the weapon the letter Y and you only hold your special book, the game will think that the deleted item is a new your special book. Now if this sounds confusing, don't worry, just follow my steps and you will definitely succeed. Okay, so we changed the name to the letter Y, we only hold the book and the weapon, and the rest of our inventory is stored. Now let's make a quick save. You might need some tries to let this trick work, but again, don't worry, if I can do it, you can do it too. So that's step 5, make a new save. Now let's go to step 6 and let's do the first trick. Go back to the weapons workbench and now again select the craft option. The following step needs to be performed correctly. We're going to hover over our newly named weapon and press the scrap and modify button at the same time. Now also release both buttons at the exact same time. If you did this correctly, you see 2 windows. In the back, you see that the modification window opened. This is correct. And a new screen opened that allows you to scrap the weapon for parts. Press the button to close the first window, and as you can see, the game thinks that the weapon is scrapped, but it is also still in the modification window. It therefore picks the closest looking item to take its place. In our case, this is the Your Special book. Now important, don't press any buttons yet. This was the hardest part for me. Especially don't use the physical sticks on your controller if you're using one. And with sticks, I mean the two sticks that you use to look and walk around. Instead of those, you want to use the D-pad and click on the right arrow. If you play on a PC, then this is also the right arrow. And if you play on consoles, just press the physical right button on the D-pad. By doing this, you go further into the modification menu. Now select a modification and it doesn't really matter which one. Now the reason why we do this is because the game needs to start treating Your Special book as a scrappable item. Not sure if this is a word, but you know what I mean. Normally, when picking up the book, it just rests in your inventory. If you then drop the magazine and enter the building mode in your settlement, it will not give you the scrap option. By modifying the book, it allows us to scrap it. The reason why we want to do this is because if we can scrap the item, we can also duplicate it. Now, if you got to this point in the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does make a difference and it doesn't cost you anything. Now let's move to step 7, clearing out our workshop. Now the last part involves increasing our stats. To do this, you're going to duplicate the book, and every time you do this, you increase a stat by 1 until that stat itself isn't visible again in the menu when picking up the magazine. The best place you can do this trick is in front of the workshop. This trick will be the most efficient if the workshop is empty. As we duplicate Your Special book, we need to get it from the workshop. If you have any other items stored in it, you will need to scroll down to get it. Now to clear the workshop, go to it and press transfer. You now have the option to take individual items, but also to get all the store items at once. You can do so by pressing the take all button. Now walk towards a crate or just drop all the items somewhere on the ground in order for the workshop to be empty. Step number 8, duplicating the book. Get back in front of the workshop and open your inventory. This step involves you duplicating the book. As I said before, the trick we did a few steps back allows us to scrap the book. Every time we do this, the game lets us increase another step by 1. Open your inventory and hover over your special book. Now drop the item and leave your Pip-Boy. Go to the workshop and press workshop. If we then hover over the book, you see multiple options. What you want to do is similar to what we did before. We're going to let the game think that we're scrapping the item, but at the same time store the item in our workshop again. This makes the game believe that the stored item is a never used before in your special. To do this, quickly press scrap and immediately hold the store button. If done correctly, then you'll see 2 windows. In the back, you'll see a window that asks you to store the book, and in front of it, you'll see a window that asks you if you want to scrap the item. Now say yes to both and get back to the workshop. Now don't panic if it didn't work out the first time. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries. Once you get to the workshop, you'll see that Your Special book is back in it. Now grab it and leave the workshop. The next step is to open your Pip-Boy and drop the item back on the floor, and you'll see that on picking up the item, it asks you which stat you want to increase. Now pick one and open your Pip-Boy again. Now again, drop Your Special book on the floor and go to the workshop. Press workshop, hover over Your Special book and press scrap and immediately store and accept both. Open your Pip-Boy, drop Your Special magazine and pick it up again. Choose a stat to increase and repeat the trick. As you can see, every time you do this trick, you increase your stat by 1. Now the trick itself can take some time, but believe me, it's worth it. Once you're done and all these stats are at level 10, it is time to increase your level. There are some tricks that allow you to increase your level quickly in the beginning of the game. One of those tricks involves you to get some wood. Now, fortunately for us, we can find lots of it in and around Sanctuary, so start by gathering some wood for yourself. Then, once you think you have enough, get yourself to the workshop. At the workshop, press transfer and get the wood into your inventory. Then open your Pip-Boy and drop the wood on the floor, walk back to the workshop and enter the workshop mode. Just as we did with Your Special book, hover over the wood and quickly press scrap and immediately store and accept both. Now repeat this step until you have a couple of thousand of wood. Now go back to the workshop and enter the workshop mode. Get to the wall decoration section and choose paintings or any other item that only requires wood. As we're still on a lower level, we only get 4 XP per painting. However, as we can stack the paintings on top of each other, we can quickly gain lots of XP. Now choose a wall and start painting away. Now once your workshop is full, meaning the bar in the right upper corner is full, you need to start deleting the paintings. Now you can repeat these steps as much as you want to increase your level in Fallout 4. This was today's video. Make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss any secret or hidden item in Fallout 4. Thank you for watching and see you again tomorrow. Bye.